starts right now with a First Alert Weather Day.
Hurricane Helene gathering strength in the Gulf of Mexico, likely going to be a major hurricane today.
The Category 1 storm is expected to grow into that catastrophic Category 4 storm.
The massive storm is expected to make landfall later tonight.
This is going to be huge as far as the impacts with widespread rain, flooding. We're talking about high wind speeds and that tornado threat. That's going to be ongoing through tomorrow afternoon, including our location, before it weakens and becomes post-tropical storm Helene. Now, here's what we're seeing right now.
What I saw during the storm, I never in a million years thought that was going to happen here. I thought the world was coming down around us.
You know, it was as if the trees were just completely bent over, nearly touching the ground. We're in a life-threatening situation now.
I've never seen darkness like that in the middle of the daytime before.
This is not normal. This is not normal. So that's when I realized we were in for something life-changing.
The damage was unbelievable, and I thought to myself, those are children, those are families who need help.
I've lived in Watauga County my entire life. Never have I seen that much water, and we're still in it. It wasn't over, it was still happening.
In the moment, you really can't believe it. It doesn't seem possible. It doesn't seem fathomable that water could do as much damage as you're looking at. There's no way it could be real. Not in our community, not here.
So the first thing I remember about Friday morning of the storm, Boone Creek had already turned down into River Street. So River Street is it's running like a river at this point. We've got water in Varsity, you know, it's standing 3 feet deep outside the doors at Varsity. You know, we had done everything we could, checking drains, and at this point you're trying to navigate how to get to and from because roads are completely shut off at this point. It was getting dangerous for even, you know, emergency service personnel to be out. So that was the moment I had where I got scared, was thinking that we're in a life-threatening situation now, and I need to make sure that all of our staff are accounted for.
Preparing for any significant event is a huge undertaking, and it involves so many different partners. And you know, our job from an emergency management standpoint is really getting all these different players and all these different resources to the table and really taking a look at, okay, what are these expected impacts, and not really just what are they saying now, but looking at those possibilities of what could happen beyond this and trying to think ahead a little bit. Do we have enough food on supply to be able to not only provide meals in the moment, but if we do see something happen, how many days can we go beyond that? We have enough flood barriers? Do we have enough sandbags? What is that going to look like? But we started looking at the potential for a tropical system to impact the region probably about a week prior to the storm, maybe a little before that. And then I would say the Wednesday before the storm, we really started to notice the forecast shift and really started to hone in on this. This is going to be more than your typical event, so to speak. It's really going to bring some significant impacts. So on Thursday, the day before Helene, we spent the day making kind of our final preparations as a campus. Our campus partners, our community partners ready? Do they have the resources they needed? And one of the challenges, of course, is this wasn't just going to impact Appalachian State. It wasn't just going to impact Boone, North Carolina.
You know, the thing that comes to mind first is that we really have a strong emergency response protocol, and we practice our protocol. We go through tabletop exercises every year with our leadership team. And so in the day before Hurricane Helene came through our area, we did make the decision, after a lot of discussion, to preemptively cancel classes. It was a Thursday, the storm was coming through on a Friday, and just looking ahead, knowing that we had already received a lot of rain on that Thursday and more was coming. We did have students in residence halls that were safe and secure. We're experiencing no damage, but we need to put life safety first and foremost every single time, and that's what we did.
So there were a number of events happening throughout that Friday, Saturday, Sunday that were very crucial to the campus being able to continue to operate. The steam plant had gotten down to 30 psi because there was so much water on the pipes everywhere. And so we were very close to losing the steam plant related. And once that happens, we can't heat campus, we can't provide heat and cook. Basically, we had been shutting campus down at that point. You know, from people who spent an entire night, Thursday night, standing in a mechanical room, making sure the pump worked to pump water out of Peacock's mechanical room so we didn't lose it, including there's a data center in that building not far from that mechanical room that had it taken on water. We probably wouldn't have had classes maybe all of that whole year. And there were lots of individuals on the facility operations team that did a lot of extraordinary things over the course of 3 or 4 days. There were a number of facility operations people who were not able to get home for a number of days across really all the different trade shops. And so many of them spent nights sleeping in their shops, getting up and just working another full day, trying to get some answers as to what was happening at home. Lots of them didn't speak to someone in their family for 2 or 3 days because there was no way for them to communicate.
So at that point, I haven't had any communication with my family or anything. I thought that Boone was experiencing the worst of the storm, and you know, you're thinking that people aren't going to believe what we've seen over here. Little did I know what the western end of the county where I live looked like. And then finally, as I was going home, you know, coming down Boone Mountain, and you just start to see a whole another level of destruction and devastation. And I remember at that point on Saturday, the emotions hitting me pretty hard, because this is family, these are people you know, it's a tight-knit community, and you just see people that have lost nearly everything. And so it was at that point that, you know, I definitely had some tears coming.
There are a tremendous amount of individuals in the facility operations grouping teams that give their all for this university, and the efforts that they put forth for this university on many accounts were outstanding. But they were very selfless in providing help to the university, putting it before some of their own needs in many cases.
Our team does, they do incredibly hard work. We're critical essential staff. Inclement weather response is part of our responsibilities. Our staff just stepped up, and they do this every day, but especially on that day, they did it with no complaints. I mean, you know, we were all there to support each other, and just proud of the fact that that everybody stuck together, and I'm just so thankful that we all came out safe.